Ghana, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Your fourth item. University of Ghana, immediately counting upwards, immediately after Winneba Secondary School, you went to University of Ghana, 98 to 2001. And then before you went to University of Cape Coast, before you went to the law school. I think that will allow you to rearrange the educational trajectory and resubmit it to us. Meanwhile, we can ask any other questions on the CV, but you have to rearrange that part and resubmit it. Right?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions on the CV?
Chair.
Yeah.
I think we also have to do, if we have the permission of the nominee, to look at the committee. We want to separate the 6th Parliament from the 7th Parliament. And because the dates are not the same, and if we have the permission of the nominee, we could change, or we could be specific and add 7th January, especially when we take a judiciary committee, it's 7th January 2017 to date. If we have your permission to be added those specific dates.
Very well, Mr. Chairman.
Will I assume, thank you, congrats. Can I assume that the ANS preparatory school and then parent experimental school, they take care of your basic school? I can assume that.
Rightly so. There was a coup d'etat at ANS, so we left to attend parents experimental. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, when you say coup d'etat, what do you mean? Can you explain?
It's a terrible fact. Mr. Chairman, the parents rebelled against the owners of the school because of high school fees. So we had to leave to parents experimental, which was established by the parents. Thank you.
They established their own school and use that as a basis for taking the business from their now a competitor. Very well. Any more questions on the CV? Now, we will ask questions relating to your ministry or any other question. Honorable Defense Minister.
Just to page 2, I hope that you've taken steps on the managing partner on the Boama and partners. You've taken steps to do that according to law. I hope so. Well, you said that 2013 to date. I said I hope you've taken steps to clean up that place.
Disengage.
Rightly so, Mr. Chairman.
To seek the Speaker's permission and obtain the certificate to do that as an additional income-generating activity.
Mr. Chairman, not when you are a deputy minister.
Oh, you're still entitled to
practice.
Yes,
as a deputy minister.
If you want to, you can apply.
Then I'll go before the Backbone Committee to obtain my certificate.
Yes, Nikwa Teta is global.
Mr. Chairman, the meet. Vice, congratulations.
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the nominee is the Vice Chairman of the Greater Accra MPP Parliamentary Caucus. I have 1 or 2 questions for you. First one, how do you envisage the financing of water projects in the country?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've been briefed by the various agencies under the new ministry, which was created by the President under EI 28. Mr. Chairman, I've come to a conclusion that the mode of financing water and waste disposal treatment systems ought to be changed. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, we need about $2 billion to realize the dreams of the President if the Water for All program under the MPP manifesto is to be realized. We always get donor funding at concessionary terms from our donor partners. And I believe it is time for the government to be bold, to either raise bonds to be able to finance all the numerous water projects which are existing. Mr. Chairman, if I should run you through the projects or the activities of the Ghana Water for 2017, I'm not too sure that given the space or the pace at which we are running, we'll be able to resolve some of the teething challenges affecting water delivery in this country. So one, government has got to be bold to raise the needed funding by raising a bond, special bond to finance water. And also to speak of this issue or go before the good people of this country that, look, water has become so essential that you can sleep without light, but you cannot live without water. So the right financing mechanisms and the space that the finance minister ought to derive from our partners ought to be given to the finance ministry and the government to be able to raise the needed finance to close the gap and also to ensure that we achieve our 2030 SDG goals. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will take the nominee to the Harbour City, Tema, to be precise. When the land was acquired compulsorily by the Nkrumah administration, the port was constructed. A lot of housing project was also undertaken. It includes underground sewer lines. For the past 60 years, most of these sewer lines have broken down. Their pumping stations are not working. You go to Committee 1, you come to Committee 2, they are completely off. It needs a total overhaul to make sure that all the sewer lines are flowing. May I find out from you, what are you going to do to assist your minister so that the people of Tema can have a complete new underground sewer lines to replace the old ones that we have that is mostly not functioning properly? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Tema happens to be our industrial city, and it's unfortunate that it's not seeing a total overhaul of its sewage system. Mr. Chairman, we have about 37 sewage systems in this country. 35 are broken down. We have only 2, and the 2 that we have are privately owned. So when there's an epidemic now, we are all in trouble. So I'll assist my minister to look for the right partnership, even if it is public-private partnership, to undertake some of these projects, which are eminent, Mr. Chairman, because what I saw, and with the kind of unattended nature by the people of this country to our waste treatment systems and waste disposal system, both solid and liquid waste, requires a new strategy to deal with this problem. So I suggest we go for a PPP arrangement to resolve some of these challenges. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, only 2 or 3. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my final question. I heard the PRO of Ghana Water Company complaining that these days they spend so much in treating water because of these Galamsey operations. It's a major, major challenge to this country. Can you assure us that you can assist the minister to collaborate with the lands and natural resources to deal with this problem that is affecting all of us? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, yesterday the President showed his commitment to fighting this menace of Galamsey. I know that an interministerial committee has been set up, and there's a coalition by the media to assist government to fight this canker. Mr. Chairman, I will assure the member for Tema East, that I'll do everything to assist my minister to ensure that the programs of the government in this area are realized. Thank you.
Honorable Parisha Peji.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Honorable Boama.
Thank you.
I think the first question that was asked by Honorable Titus Glover would not be fully appreciated if you don't elaborate on the agenda of the MPP manifesto. So I would like to find out from you if you can give us a brief or elaborate on the MPP's agenda of water for all by the year 2020. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We all know the agenda of the MPP is to ensure that safe, adequate water is delivered to the good people of this country. So at pages 81 and 82 of our manifesto, the bold steps that the President wants to embark upon are there, and we can all read that. One, the government wants to sink about 25,000 boreholes and about 300,000 small town projects. If you look at the budget, the President also has plans to undertake some major water treatment systems across the country, and also ensure that what was started by the previous government are all completed. The government also wants to end open defecation. 1 in about 5 people are engaged in open defecation, and it's not good. And a report that I read from the World Bank suggests that Ghana loses about 420 million Ghana cedis a year through these practices. So, Mr. Chairman, the MPP's program to end open defecation, ensure that we have toilets in our homes, and also have enough boreholes in the rural communities, as well as 300 small town projects, and also the rehabilitation of major water treatment systems in Sunyani, Damongo, Nsawam, and what have you are realized. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable, from your background, I've realized that you are a true legislator, and you are also, but the background gives us an idea that you are well versed in the laws. Looking at the insanitary situation in Ghana, how are you going to bring your profession to bear on the current sanitation issues that we face and ensure that the health officers apply the laws to the letter to put our country into a safe mode? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if you want to talk about laws on sanitation, then this country is not lacking in that area. We have all the bylaws, the assemblies have all the bylaws. The issue is about attitude. And I've read the Environmental Health and Sanitation Directorate report at the ministry. One of their core duties is to ensure that there's proper advocacy and communication to change the thinking and attitudinal styles of our citizenry. It's going to be one of the major activities that the ministry will be undertaking this year. Secondly, if you look at the budget, the President wants to set up a sanitation fund. And fourthly, the President is advocating that we have a sanitation authority built or established on the same premise as the District Education Directorate, where they will sit at the table with the district chief executives, the district education officers, to ensure that there's proper decentralization of all the guidelines, programs, and activities to ensure that we have a clean society. Madam Honorable PJ, you know that the President also has promised, Mr. Chairman, the President has also promised in the budget that we'll be recruiting over 5,000 people to ensure that we have a clean society, among other activities. Thank you.
Honorable Anthony Cabo. Oh, sorry, Amakwehini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Honorable Minister nominee, Deputy Minister nominee.
Thank you.
Honorable, back to the boreholes. How many can I expect in my constituency? At Tebebua Mountain, it's been on the news every now and then for water shortage, and for that matter, associate constituencies that has the same perennial problems within your tenure as an interim solution to the water problem that we have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe the first step we have
such communities, especially where the poverty levels are so high that community members are unable to contribute to finance the electricity or pay for the electricity in order to pump this water. And I'm sure many of the MPs in rural communities can relate to this situation I'm putting before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, the Community Water and Sanitation Agency is responsible by law to be the agency to supply rural communities with some of these boreholes the honorable member is talking about. That they are underfunded. That's the first challenge. Two, government has secured a facility of about $150 million for what we call the Gamma project, especially those within the Greater Accra area. And two, there is a facility from the Dutch for the three northern regions that will help to alleviate some of these challenges up north. So I believe that the Community Water and Sanitation Agency ought to be properly funded. We need to bring the activities into the spotlight, because most of the time we leave them and they do their own thing. You ask one director how much it costs to sink one borehole. One person will mention 32,000, another will mention 40,000. There's some kind of uncertainty in that area. To refocus our attention in that area, because there's a lot of work to be done in terms of rural water supply. And I must commend you for this question and thank you. And I assure you that we'll do all in our power to ensure that water. Thank you. And Laura.
Indeed, Laura. Mr. Speaker, just a follow-up. Won't you agree that with the suggestion that maybe in order to avert the situation where they have to contribute to power these machines to pump the water, can't we bring in solar? Because in the north, the abundance of the sun is so much, and with a one-time investment, it will be enough for them to get water all year round, not just for domestic use, but also for, small gardens and stuff like that. But the idea really is about the solar initiative, if that is possible.
Mr. Chairman, it's possible, and I believe it's a good idea. The ministry will look at it, and I know the Energy Ministry is piloting one of such projects, and we'll expand it. Thank you.
Honourable Minister for Communications, you said you have one question. Honourable Minister for Communication.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Senior Deputy was sharing some very interesting facts. Senior Deputy Minister, it's been sanctioned, yes, was sharing some very interesting facts with me. Congratulations, Honorable Nominee.
Thank you very much.
Ghana is ranked as the second dirtiest country in the world, in Africa, and 7th dirtiest in the world because of open defecation. The lack of toilets in many parts of Accra and other parts of the country have led to this unenviable record that the country has earned. Cholera is endemic in many parts of this country, and every year, with the onset of the rains, in my constituency, certain parts of it suffer from this scourge. If it isn't, I'm sure you would realize that it has to be one of your major priorities in the ministry. So what are you going to do to take us out of this league of the infamous?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, only 19% of our citizenry have access to good toilet facilities, and it's not a good statistic. 19%. And I know that the people around Shiabu and Begbeise in your constituency would want to benefit from the president's one toilet, one household program. And we are going to ensure that we extend those facilities to your constituency to eradicate cholera and other challenging problems. Thank you.
We will definitely take you up on that. So since I have the evidence of it. No, this is Shiabu, Opetekwe, and Glefe, which have a major problem like that. But you're talking about how soon can we see this program being rolled out? The rains have started, and we've already started fearing the annual consequences of that in terms of cholera outbreaks.
Mr. Chairman, I will consult the minister when you give me the nod, and we'll ensure that we get off the blocks in a quick time. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, okay.
My last one. It has also been said that the next war will be fought over water. It's a finite resource. Many of the questions that have come already relate to this area. And even the groundwater would also finish at the rate at which we're sinking boreholes, with pollution of the water bodies and all that. Can we get some assurance that we would find a permanent solution to this? And how are you going to act in collaboration with some other agencies like the local government, Environmental Protection Agency, the Ministry of Environment, to ensure that, one, the pollution ceases, and two, we can guarantee future generations access to potable, good, clean water?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we need about $2 billion to resolve our water problems. And I believe the government has shown its will to ensure that we eradicate some of these challenges in this sector. I'll collaborate with my minister, I'll assist him, and ensure that we resolve some of these challenges that you've mentioned. Thank you.
You're done. Well, I just wanted to remind you that Honorable Jato says you promised pere mask, so don't forget.
Chairman,
that.
I've told him what to do. He's only sitting here making noise. Your people are listening to you. Take the steps that I've already advised you to, and it's been done. Yeah, okay.
Very well. Honorable Chief Whip, do you have any question for the nominee?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a question for the nominee now, but the honorable member for Achim Swedru says that he has a question for the nominee, if you would permit him.
He hasn't applied to me. If he does, I'll consider it.
I thought I was doing the application on his behalf.
He's sitting right there. Right. If you have a question, ask him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for such an opportunity. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask the nominee if he gets the opportunity to become a deputy, is he going to work on the Oda Akwetia water project to ensure that Achim Swedru and its environs also get connected to the water project too?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have the activity list for the ministry for 2017, and it's part of it, so you are assured you have access to water. Thank you.
The friends won't overwhelm my committee. Thank you all. You can create your next door. So you can. No, I'm not asking to ask a question. I'm saying that you can go to him anytime and ask for anything you want from him. So don't use my committee to propagate or can create challenges. Now, Honorable Obama, the biggest challenge to sanitation for me is our attitude. If you look at every drain anywhere, people say we should close them. I think that it may get worse, because if there's no opening at all, then, but if there will be an opening anywhere, they will still put the rubbish in it. Now, what programs will do to deal with the challenge, our mentality that makes us feel so comfortable throwing rubbish around?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, it's an important question. I asked my minister, and he said he's already taking some steps. He's asking some good media groups to come out with concepts to change the attitude of Ghanaians in the area of sanitation, where people sit in trotros or buses and throw refuse and spit, excuse my language, and also do all sorts of things. They go to the public toilets and leave it as it is. So we have to adopt a robust campaign to change the attitude of Ghanaians in this area, because that is where we get all these diseases which are alien to us from. Thank you.
Well, campaign good, but my view is that campaign not supported by sanction won't take us anywhere. If the polluter pays principle, people will talk. That's in our nature. There's nothing that we don't complain about. But if we want something to change, we must enforce the law. There are some countries in Africa, that sound there, where it just, in the 60s, people were shot for putting litter on the ground. It may be harsh, but if it happens in your presence, you won't do it. You will tell your child not to do it, and then you get the culture of voluntary obeisance to the rules. So my advice is that in addition to the campaign, ensure that there are sanctions and they are applied rigidly. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are any persons to be acknowledged, we'll take them now.
Mr. Chairman, acknowledgements. Mr. George Comey is the constituency chairman for the MPP in Okaikoi Central. He came with the executives, so if all the executives are here, we acknowledge you. Then Okaikoi North executives, Mr. P.K. Mensah and his members. Mrs. Pearson Buama is the spouse. They say they didn't see you. Sheikh Umar Ibrahim. Saeed Osman, representative of the National Chief Imam. New Boy the Fourth and his elders, Abeka Traditional Council. Reverend Canon Samuel J.B. Dankwa Kaneshi, Council of Zongo Chiefs, Okaikwe Central. Alaji Alhassa Nayan, Bimoba Chief, Accra. Alaji Fuseni Isa, Ahmadiyya Mosque. Malam Danladi, Guarantee Mosque. Malam Biga, Jeddah Mosque. Imam Baba, Abeka Central Mosque. Council of Elders and Patrons, Okaikwe Central. Assembly members, Okaikwe North and Central. Yao Ofosu, a brother. Achemboadu, a brother. Old Boys of Prempeh. You went to Winnebao, so what are Old Boys of Prempeh doing here? Mr. Zoom Zoom, the professor of boxing, is also here. Azuma Nelson, okay. Then Mr. Kempon is also here.
Kempon Travel and Tours, okay. Yes. All right.
And Mr. Frank Ajekum.
Oh, Frank, yes.
The special aide to the former president.
Right, yes. All right. We thank you all for coming to support the nominee. Greater Accra Caucus, you're here. Where are you? I see only 3. 1, 2, 3.
The head of SONA sector.
I see only three of you. You're here as a member of the committee. Those who came to support him truly are 3. There are 2 of you. All right. I recognize also the head of the SONA sect in Kakwe Central. We thank you all. The whole country. We thank you all for coming to support the nominee.